Hey YouTube, Twig here, bringing you all my updated Gagaga Yu-Gi-Oh deck profile for Post's Magical Hero. Wanted this to be the next focus on the new deck support we received in Duelist Pack Magical Hero. It's a really awesome deck for those of you that are a fan of Utopia and all of Yuma's different Gagaga, Zubaba, monsters. I was able to construct a deck that focused on all of them, and the main point of the deck being to go for the different Xyz summons that Yuma did during the series with the new support we have in the form of Gagaga Magician, which is their new Exceed monster, being able to summon out 2 Xyz monsters, and this deck's just going to get even more stronger with the new Master Rule coming out, plus also update it for a few adjustments with the new ban list as well, adding in a few tech cards for some other plays that definitely do help with just a little consistency. So let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So to start off for the monsters, I run 3 Gagaga Magician. Wanted to focus on a good count of the Gagaga monsters that just worked consistently with the Zubababa and also the Dododo monsters in the deck. And Gagaga Magician is just one that has always been consistent with its level adjustment. Once per turn, you can declare a level from 1 to 8. This card can become that level until the end phase. You can only control 1 face-up Gagaga Magician, and this card cannot be used as a synchro material monster, which we don't synchro summon at all in this deck. It's all Xyz with a few Link monsters just for added support, but Gagaga Magician's level adjustment can be so if you wish to use some higher ranked monsters as well in the deck, you can go for all the way to level 8 potentially with this card as well. So very, very useful just for the level adjustment, and we have a few good monsters that just special summon out by having a Gagaga monster on the field, making it so you can easily have the 2 monsters needed for your Xyz summon also on the field. And I also run 3 Gagaga Clerk. If you control a Gagaga monster other than Gagaga Clerk, you can special summon this card from your hand. So it's just an easy special summon of a monster onto the field, giving you resources to use, and also there are other cards in the deck that can help adjust the levels, with Gagaga Clerk being a level 2, meaning you'll want to adjust it so it can be a level 4, like Gagaga Magician, to go for your main Xyz summon, which can be Utopia, or any of the Gagaga Xyz monsters, including Samurai, Cowboy, you name it, for the deck. And I also run 3 of the new Zubaba Bancho Gagaga Coat. If you control a Zubaba or Gagaga monster, except Zubaba Bancho Gagaga Goat, or coat, it's obviously wearing a coat, while this card is in your hand, you can special summon this card. You can target 1 Gagaga or Dododo monster in your graveyard, special summon it. Also, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of this turn, except Xyz monsters. You can only use each effect of Zubaba Bancho Gagaga Coat once per turn. So it gives you special summon consistency with this card while it's in your hand, just being able to easily summon it out onto the field by having a Zubaba or Gagaga monster, which is a good amount of the deck we have already, and then just being able to have more consistency by targeting a Gagaga or Dododo in the graveyard and special summon it. It's just all really, really good for filling up your field with a bunch of different monsters that you can use with this card. So definitely a 3 of in the deck, just really added to the consistency of what the main purpose of the deck is supposed to be. And we also got that also in the form of Dododo Dwarf Go Glove, being a rock monster to match up with the other Dododo monsters. During your main phase, you can special summon 1 Zubababa or Gagaga monster from your hand. If you control a Gagaga or Dododo monster, except Dododo Dwarf Go Glove, while this card is in your graveyard, you can special summon this card, but banish it when it leaves the field. You can use each effect of Dododo Dwarf Go Glove once per turn. I'm really going to get all of my syllables out with this deck profile, but with Go Glove, you're able to obviously Xyz summon with it, so you won't miss out on banishing this card and being able to reuse it later on as well. I honestly thought when I first read the card it was a warrior, but it's a rock monster like the other Dododo monsters, but still works very, very well being a level 4. Originally with cards like Zubaba Bancho for easy Xyz summons, with other cards like Gagaga Magician as well, to add into the consistency of mixing in all the different Dododo, Gagaga, and Zubaba monsters together in one deck. And then I am also running 3 Utopic Onomatopoeia. I originally had the Utopia deck, but I found that just mixing the 2 decks together was the most consistent form, going off of the Utopia support and just all of the Dododo, Gagaga, and Zubababa support we have altogether. With Utopic Onomatopoeia, this card is always treated as a Zubababa, Gagaga, Dododo, or also a Gagaga. I think that's the last one I missed. I tried to read them all in order. During your main phase, you can special summon up to one each Zubababa, Gagaga, Gogogo, or Dododo monsters from your hand in defense position. Also, you cannot special summon from the X deck for the rest of this turn except Exceed monsters. You can only use this effect of Utopic Onomatopoeia once per turn. This card is just consistency in the form of a mini Utopia effect monster, being able to swarm the field with a good amount of the monsters we've already spoke of already in the deck, and then relying on Utopic Onomatopoeia. For that, you're just limited to Exceed Summon, but that's the majority of what the deck does anyway, so it doesn't really hurt you at all with this card. So very, very useful there, and like I said before, with the new Master Rule, just going to get better, being able to have multiple Exceed monsters already on the field and not having to rely on Link monsters, meaning you can have more and more monsters on the field and then have that to rely on as well for like 2 or 4 monsters going into 2 Exceed monsters. And then for some of the 1-ofs in the deck, I run one Dododo Buster. If your opponent controls a monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. If it's summoned this way, it becomes level 4, which is very, very useful for the play overall. And when it's tribute summoned, you can target one Dododo monster in your graveyard, special summon that target in defense position. So just more consistency, kind of like a Cyber Dragon for the deck, but making it become a level 4 is very, very useful. And also one Go-Go-Go Giant. Just with this one, when it's normal summoned, you can target one Go-Go monster in your graveyard and special summon that target, and then when it attacks, you change it to defense position. Just more consistency for Dododo Dwarf, Go-Go-Go Glove, since it does count as a Go-Go-Go monster as well. I also run one Gagaga Girl, so just works with Gagaga Magician when you can get the play off. I didn't want to run any more than that since more of the focus is on the other level 4 monsters we have in the deck, but still an easy special summon when you have Gagaga Magician on the field. Same with Gagaga Child, just for the easy special summon and the level adjustment we can do with the deck. And the one Gagaga Sister, when it's normal summon, you can add a Gagaga spell or trap from your deck to your hand. So more searches with this card, searching out some of the Gagaga spell or traps we run as well. And that is it for the monsters. Wanted to focus on a pure lineup of all the different syllable monsters for the deck. Moving on to the spells, I run 3 Onomato Pickup. When this card is activated, you can add 1 Onomat card from your deck to your hand except Onomato Pickup. And you can target one Zubababa, Gagaga, or Gogogo, or Dododo monster you control. All monsters you currently control become that monster's level until end of this turn. Even if this card leaves the field, you can only use this effect of Onomato Pickup once per turn. You can activate 1 Onomato Pickup per turn. So the reason I want to run 3 of this is because it is a searcher for some other important cards in the deck. And then just being able to adjust the levels of some of our other monsters to line up with the levels of the other level 4s we run, with level 4 being the main focus of the deck, is another useful part of this continuous spell. Getting a search off of it and then just being able to rely on that level adjustment as well for your Xyz summons. And I also run 3 Onomatopyra. You can only activate 1 Onomatopyra per turn. Send 1 card from your hand to the graveyard. Add up to 2 of these monsters from your deck to your hand. You cannot add 2 from the same category, so it can be the Zubababa, Gagaga, Gogogo, or Dododo monsters. More search, and the fact that this card can be searched off of Onomato Pickup is just more search into search into search for you with this card, giving you monsters and resources, especially to use with cards like Utopic Onomatopoeia, being able to summon them out to the field once you add them to your hand, as long as this card is on the field. And with this being a big Yuma deck and the focus being the Utopia monsters, I am running 3 XYZ Change Tactics. When a Utopia monster is Xyz summoned to your field, you can pay 500 life points to draw 1 card. You can only control 1 Xyz Change Tactics, but just having the 3 for the consistency to always open up this card is a big help as well. And you always want to have draw power, since Utopia is a big monster we go into in this deck as well, whenever you summon a Utopia monster, to rely on this play for your draw power. With just the cost of 500 life points, I'd say is definitely worth it. And I also run 2 Double or Nothing. We do run the Utopia double in the deck, so this card is searchable, but having a bigger focus on Utopia in the deck than just 1 play, I wanted to add more than 1 in the deck, so you can also just draw it if need be, since there's always an easy way to go into Utopia and fully make use of this card as well in the deck. And I do have some higher rank Utopia and other Xyz monsters, so I'm running 2 Rank Up Magic Astral Force. Just having a good way to rank up into the rank 6 monsters in the deck is a more power play, especially with cards like Utopia Beyond, so very, very useful for this in the deck as well. Just having a more power source when you need something a little stronger than the rank 4 monsters you currently control. And then moving on to some of the one-of spells, I run one Gagaga Revenge. Being searchable with Gagaga Sister, you can target one Gagaga monster in your graveyard, special summon it, and equip it with this card. When this card leaves the field, destroy the equipped monster, and when this card is sent to the graveyard, because the equipped monster was used in the Xyz material, all monsters you currently control gain 300 attack. So just more of a power play with the Gagaga monsters as well, coming back for resources to use. One, reinforcements of the army, run plenty of normal monsters in the deck as well. So very, very useful for search. One Monster Reborn, more special summoning, especially when I can get Onomatopoeia back onto the field for more special summon plays also. And lastly, fresh off the new ban list, I am running one Pot of Avarice. So with this one, the new ban list takes effect on Monday, so can't wait for the support. And just the consistency of this card in the deck to reshuffle back monster cards in your graveyard and shuffle them into the deck, and then draw 2 cards, gives you more resources. And if you basically run through the deck and all the cards you have, this one definitely does help just to give you more cards to add into the deck and search out also with your spells and whatnot. And that's it for the spells. For the traps, I'm trying 3 halfway to forever. You target 2 monsters in your graveyard, special summon both, but negate their effects. And if you do, immediately after this effect resolves, Xyz summon 1 Light Utopia or Utopic Xyz monster using only those 2 targets. So this is a good way to go into some of our bigger monsters, including your Utopic Future. Having the Xyz monsters in the graveyard already gives you access to this card, and then you can Xyz summon into the Utopic card, since the requirements are 2 Xyz monsters with the same rate, except number monsters, so you can have those plays to go into as well, or just some of the other Utopic options with the deck is very, very useful also. And that is it for the main deck. We'll now move on to the extra deck. I run 2 Gagaga Magician. You need 2 level 4 monsters to make this. You can detach 1 material from this card, then target 1 Xyz monster in your graveyard, except Gagaga Magician. Gagaga Magician. Sorry, it's going to be definitely some difficulty getting used to. Special summon it, but negate its effects. You can only use this effect of Gagaga Magician once per turn. If a Utopic Xyz monster has this card as material, it gains this effect. During your main phase, you can detach 2 materials from this card, then target 1 Xyz monster you control until the end of this turn. Change its attack to 4,000, but negate its effect. More of a power play, but the resource consistency makes this card your main go-to card to get out your Utopic monsters, since you can fill the field with your different Xyz monsters, and it'll just be even better for the plays with having more and more Xyz options with Master Rule coming out in April to rely on this card. And I also run 1 Gagaga Cowboy. It's a Gagaga card, and also just easy way to burn your opponent down if they're just a few life points away from losing. 1 Gagaga Samurai for the multiple attacks this card can do is very, very helpful as well. And then for the Utopia support, I have 2 Utopia, number 39 Utopia as well. Just a good card, easy Xyz to go into for a lot of your plays. And then for some of the different Utopia monsters, I run 1 number 39 Utopia double, 1 Utopia the Lightning, and the 1 Utopia Beyond. So just for the rank up plays with this one especially. And then for the Utopic monsters, I run 1 number F0 Utopic Future and 1 number S0 Utopic Zexal, or Zeal. I always thought I couldn't remember what the correct way to say Zexal is. I believe it's Zexal, but anyway, these Utopic monsters are very, very easy to summon out with Gagaga Magician as well, giving you resources on the field to use, and it'll be much easier with the Master Rule having more room for Xyz monsters on the field. But the special summon option with your trap halfway to forever is a big help also with getting these cards out. And then for just a little more additional Xyz support, I run 1 Photon Strike Bouncer with the rank up spell, just another card to go into, being the same type and attribute as your other Utopia cards, and 1 number 101 Silent Honor Arc. You can also run Baguska if you want instead of Photon Strike Bouncer or the S0 Utopic Zexal. That's just a spot you want to fill, or you can even be filled in with other number spots if you didn't want to run the Link monsters, which are Underclock Taker and Hippo Shenengan in the deck. You can fill these in with 2 other Xyz spots if you wish, also not wanting to run any Link monsters in the deck and then just go full Xyz on the extra deck. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed the video. I'm going to be working on more decks from the Magical Hero Duelist pack, so definitely look forward to those. But until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and Kira Twig out.